How do you know if you have a valuable dollar bill worth a lot of money? In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to make sure you aren't missing any rare $1 bill worth potentially thousands of dollars. Welcome back to Old Money Prices. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about rare coins and paper money, start out by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. Make sure you stay until the end of the video because I have two notes that sold for a lot of money. Let's jump right into the video. Up first, we have a $1 bill from 1963, which is a Federal Reserve note from Cleveland, graded by PMGA 66 EPQ. Right off the bat, you notice that the serial number is very interesting. There's 3 zeros and then the rest are the number 3. This is considered a fancy serial number, and that's why this one sold for $288. So just imagine going to the store and getting a $1 bill back in change and then finding that it has a rare serial number, and then that $1 bill be worth potentially hundreds of dollars, just like this one. Up next, we have a bill from 1988, and this one is a solid number 2 serial number, and it's also in really bad condition, so it just goes to show that you don't need a bill that's in really good condition for it to be worth a good amount of money. This solid number 2 serial number bill from 1988 sold for $360. So this is one that you guys need to look out for. This is what's called a web note. Web notes were printed the same way that newspapers are printed, in one continuous run, while normal banknotes are not printed like this. And the way to tell that you have a web note is, 1, Washington's face is going to be more washed out. I'll show you a comparison here. And 2, the plate position on the front and the back of the note is going to be different. Now let me show you where that is. On the front of the note, if you look in the bottom right hand corner of the note, above the 5 and below the 5, you can see a tiny little number. On the back of the note, you can see to the right of "In God We Trust," there's also going to be a tiny number. That's going to indicate that this is a web note. I'll show you what a normal note looks like. As you can see, if you look at the same spot on the front right, you're going to have a letter plus a number. And then if you look on the back of the note, the plate position's going to be in a different spot, not next to "In God We Trust." So because this is a web note, this note sold for $840. So make sure that you're looking out for the web notes. Up next, we have a 1995 $1 bill that is a descending ladder serial number. So some of these valuable $1 bills are going to be the reason of the serial number. If you look at the serial number, you'll see that the serial number goes from 8 all the way down to 1, descending. That in combination that it was graded by PCGS a 66 PPQ. PPQ meaning premium paper quality, 66 meaning that it is uncirculated, there is no folds whatsoever on the bill. This note sold for $940, and this is a bill from 1995. That's not that old at all. Here we start getting into the pretty valuable notes. This is a 1999 $1 bill from Richmond, Virginia, and this one was graded by PMGA 35 net. It was graded net because it has tape repairs on it. So if you have any tears or anything, any sort of damage on your note, do not repair it with tape. Don't even repair it at all. Just leave it, because you're gonna make it worth less money. If this one didn't have tape repairs, it would have sold for a lot more, but the reason this one sold for so much is because it was a serial number 1, and this one sold for $1,920. This is a pretty rare note. Here we have a 1969D $1 specimen note from Boston, graded by PMGA 64 EPQ. So a specimen note is going to be a note that was meant for display. Typically these notes are given to the banks of other countries so they're able to determine whether a bill that comes into the bank is real or fake from another country. Long story short, these were never meant to get out into circulation, but somehow someone got a hold of a specimen note, probably from another bank teller in another country, but this one, because it's a specimen note, sold for $1,265. Up next, we have another web note from 1988, and this is a star note as well. So that combination, as well as it being a 65 EPQ, again, it's a web note because on the front right, you have the small plate position. On the back, next to "In God We Trust," we have another small plate position. And this note, because it's a star note, because it's a plate note, sold for $2,160. Here we have another web note. This one was graded PMG 30, so it's a lower grade, and it's from 19 1988, but it still sold for a lot of money. So make sure that you're looking out for those web notes. This one sold for $1,200. Here's another web note. This one is from 1988 and it is a star note and it's graded by PMG a 67 EPQ. Now remember, the highest grade that you can achieve in grading for PMG and PCGS is 70. So because this one graded so highly, it's really close to that 70 grade. That's why this one sold for $4,200. Here we have two notes that came in a pack of 4,000. The bottom note is the first note in the pack and the top note is the last note in the pack. The interesting thing about this one is the top note is considered the 100 millionth note in the run, and typically 100 million serial numbers do not exist for paper money in America, and that's why you look at the serial number and it's all zeros. There should be a 1 in front of that first A, but the way the printers are set up, it's not going to be doing that. So if you ever see a serial number with all zeros like that, that means that the note was not supposed to get out of the building. This is considered a 100 million serial number note, but it's missing that 1. And the fact that they had the first bill and the last bill from a pack of 4,000 notes from a bank roll made these notes sell for an incredible amount of money. These two notes sold for $58,750, which is mind-blowing for $2. Imagine getting $2 back from the bank and being able to sell it for $58,000. Absolutely mind-blowing. Hit that subscribe button. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one.